You got to move forward. It's all part of coaching a team. It's all part of being on a team. You have to get through the adversity, and there are some difficult times, and you get through them.
Bob, what was Draymond's reaction when he did get the news that he was going to be suspended?
He was professional. He loved to play basketball, so he was professional, which is all we can ask of him. I think what probably will be the hardest thing for him is he can't play basketball tonight because he's a basketball player, and that's what is probably most difficult. Nobody ever talks about Kevin's free agency. Doesn't bother any of us.
Not even in this situation we're talking about?
No. It's the NBA. There's guys either are under contract or they're upcoming free agents, and it's the business. And we're focused on this year. So I don't think anybody in our locker room, anybody on our coaching staff thinks twice about Kevin's free agency this summer. That's next summer. This is we're coaching this year. We're playing this year.
And guys, we've already talked a lot about what can be made of the suspension, but we hadn't yet had a chance to hear Coach Kerr and Bob Myers address the media. What now are your thoughts as you've heard their responses?
Well, a couple things. One, Steve Kerr is someone who I had a good fortune of working with in Phoenix. I thought was the best in terms of front office person who was able to manage people. Just great at that, and obviously has done that with the Golden State Warriors and helped contribute to their success. You've been in this situation obviously as a coach and as a general manager. You want to give a good spin, I think. You want to try to, but you also have to address what it is, and obviously it was a problem, and that warranted a suspension. I'm maybe in the minority. I think this is something they can work through. I think, personally, Draymond Green is someone who probably hasn't really been pushed back a lot. I think the guys and the personalities that have been there during this run haven't really gone back at Draymond. And in that moment where he made a bonehead play and probably going to the bench, realize and recognize that, and then all of a sudden somebody's sort of going at him in that moment, who knows? I'm just, like I said, this is all speculation. But I do think there's passion. I think they care. I think they want to win. I think they also probably understand that they have a golden opportunity to do something special like they've been doing for the last few years. So I do think ultimately they'll work through it. But right now it's a distraction. And, it's something that is unfortunate that they have to kind of go through collectively as a team.
Well, and, Coach, you're not going to top Grant's answer unless you use the word bonehead, but do you have a response now that both Coach and Bob?
I think that they were talking about this happens, Steve Kerr was saying there's adversity. Not self-inflicted. I'm just telling you right now, it's a whole different thing when you get shot and you shoot yourself in the foot. This right now is a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the foot. Championship, who does this? A lot of bad teams do this. A lot of teams that go out and just don't have any idea what they're doing. They're max. I'm not getting my numbers. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting that. Championship teams are one level above that. They don't normally have all that bickering. I just because again. Bob did a good job, Myers, of saying a whole lot of nothing. They really didn't tell you what happened. Steve Kerr said, well, things happen, all that stuff. Something happened big enough that you took the kid's paycheck from him, the young man's paycheck. That's a big thing. That's $120,000 that you're telling him, and you can't play in this game. So something happened in there that was just over the line. Because I've been in locker rooms when guys have been screaming at each other and and yelling, but it gets buried. It doesn't go into the next day, and it doesn't go into a suspension. It doesn't go into questions like, can these guys play together? And then they said, I hope so. I'm like, man, if you can't play together, you cannot win in the championship. I promise you that. Too many good teams out there. So there's something there a little bit more. I feel bad. You know what? I watched Bob Myers, and I remembered how many press conferences I had as GM where you're trying to say a whole bunch of nothing. Man, you're just like, you are literally just saying so much garbage, and because you just can't say, well, this is what happened,
Right.
And so I was watching him going like, thank goodness I don't have that job anymore. I can just sit here and say stupid stuff.
We do it here.
You can say a whole lot of nothing here instead, and at least there's an outtime on it. But if, in fact, as it's been reported, there was there were words exchanged about KD's impending free agency. Were you ever part of teams or moments where someone's looming free agency seemed to cause chemistry issues within your locker room?
No, never. I mean, I've been a free agent. I was an elite player. I played with elite players who were free agents. There have been moments where there's, arguments, discussions, disagreements, even fights that happen, and you know what, you kind of move on from it. It happens, and I always equate it to we're a family, and sometimes internally in a big family you have your moments that you're at odds with each other, but when you have a locker room, and I wasn't fortunate obviously to play on a championship team in the NBA, but I've been in some really good locker rooms, and when you have those disagreements or those issues that happen, they just get resolved. Cooler heads prevail. You get a chance to sleep on it, separate, and move on from it, and hopefully learn and grow from it. But as K-Mac said, I mean, to go from that little dispute on the bench to all of a sudden now this player is suspended without pay. That's alarming. And to your point, and look, I mean, we'll see. I still think, like I said, they're so talented. I think they can get through it, but. The idea of free agency, I mean, who's thinking of free agency of a player in November?
I was just going to say, now that never really came in, because you know what, everybody in that league understands one thing. You're in there for a short period of time. Your career is not forever. You're going to play, and you know what, I say God bless the guys, get them paid as much as they can. I mean, I'm not one of those old guys that say, man, look at today's players are getting, they're getting too much damn money. I'm like, good for them. That's what the amount of money that the league is bringing in is being divided up, and that's the players' share. So good for them. I have no problems with that. So players are not about that. So it was something else that happened. That's what I'm saying. Something was said or something was done, or possibly a coach got in there and tried to shake things out. Man, you don't put your hands on coaches and stuff. I don't know what happened, but something happened enough to say we're going to suspend the guy for a game. And can I just, because we beat this thing to like a dead horse here. I ain't going to get up and run. Can I just say one thing? I was watching Trae Young. Do you know how disappointing he is? Steph Curry's not playing tonight. Because what does everybody say about Trae Young?
That he's
the next Steph Curry. Because I was watching him warm up, and I thought that dude's thinking, oh man, this is my first chance to go against the guy everybody says I'm like. And inside of the craziness of Golden State, there's still wonderful things that happen.
Yeah, and he's responded so well to being called the next Steph Curry. For him to have such confidence.
That's what I'm saying. So there's such wonderful things that happen to a young man like this. And going out there, I was just in my mind, I was thinking, I remember the first time I played against Dr. J. I was like, I remember I was in the locker room and I wasn't saying anything to anybody, but in my mind I was thinking, damn, I'm playing against Dr. J. And it was, it was fun. But all those guys I had heard about, I mean, Elvin Hayes and all these guys. And can I tell you a quick story about playing against Elvin Hayes?
Yeah, you can. Okay. We got nothing else to do.
I go out to the jump ball. I'm starting. Maxwell's hurt. And so Larry, I must have said something about Elvin Hayes. Like, Elvin Hayes was one of my favorite players. The big game between Houston and UCLA that was on when I was a kid, and I mean, I was kind of a big fan. I must have said something. I really liked Elvin Hayes. So I go at the jump ball, and he goes, "Hey, Kevin." Larry says, "Hey, Kevin, tell Elvin what you said about him." And I didn't say a word about Elvin Hayes, but besides nice stuff. So I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to say anything nice. And he goes, "Tell him what you told me. You're going to kick his old ass." And I tell you what, I went, oh. I tell you what, the first play, Elvin just drills me in the back of the head, and I'm like, damn. I always laugh whenever I see Elvin Hayes. I think about Larry. I didn't know, you got to know Larry, too. Larry's just sitting there going, internally. As I'm getting hit in the back of the head.
Yeah.
That's funny.
By your hero.
Yeah. That's funny.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to John Collins of the Atlanta Hawks about his family's service to our country and what Veterans Day means to him. Don't go away.